Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine. If you follow me on Instagram, you know me as Mothering From Within. I've also blogged at Mothering From Within since April 2013. So I'm here today because I have relaunched my blog. So thank you for all of you who have followed me over the years of blogging through like my breaks and all of that. Like I truly appreciate it. I have used my Instagram just to microblog, which is to just like blog through your captions. But I really just love having a website and a space to keep everything, you know, just organized and all in place. And, you know, I just love having a website. So I have relaunched and I'm really excited. And this time around, I plan to bring you videos. So this is my first one. I'm gonna do a little introduction for those of you who don't know me. And I'm also going to give you our proposal story because I'm recently engaged. And a lot of you have asked for me to do a like Insta story or a Snap video just telling how it happened. And I just think this is the best place for it to be. So I'm gonna tell you today. But a little bit about myself. So I am from Goldsboro, North Carolina. It's a very small town, North Carolina. I was born in Goldsboro, raised in Raleigh, and I went to college in Greensboro at one of the greatest HBCUs, the greatest, because A&T people will come for me, the greatest HBCU in the world, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, where I received my bachelor's in child development and family studies. Which kind of leads to just me having, you know, this blog and using my Instagram to just share my journey as a mom and just my passion for motherhood. Me being a mom and my passion go hand in hand. Like I said, I have a bachelor's in child development and family studies with a concentration in speech language pathology. So I've always been really passionate just about family dynamics and all things motherhood and children and how they learn and just all that. Like I love it. And now that I have a baby, well, he's almost 4, so he's a big boy, but you know, I just love baby products and just staying up to date on, you know, everything surrounding mommies and their babies. So that's one of the main reasons I'm here. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania with my fiance and our little boy, Alexander Cree. He's turning 4 in just a few weeks. I cannot believe he's already 4. It's crazy. But we're here because my fiance is a student at University of Pennsylvania. He goes to their business school called Wharton. So he's getting his MBA. So we've moved quite a bit. We have lived in New York. That's the first place we lived together. And then we moved to Miami, then back to New York, and now we're here. So we move a lot. We absolutely love moving and trying new places. We love traveling, so we traveled a ton together. We do it every chance we get. It's just something we really enjoy, just leaving a little piece of my heart all over the world and just learning about different cultures and ways of life, and it's just amazing. It's such an amazing experience. So it's something that we love, and we do it whenever we can, and we love taking our little boy. He enjoys it too. So yeah, that's a little bit about us. So I'm gonna just jump right into the proposal. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that my family and I, we love family photos. We started taking photos. We even started with my fiance. He was then my boyfriend. We did my graduation when I graduated college. We did like a photo shoot together, and then our next photo shoot was when we were pregnant, our maternity photos, and we've had several since then. We did, you know, newborn, we did a breastfeeding shoot. So I just really love family photos. They're all over our house, and I'll show you guys one day. But one thing I thought about was that we've never done a fall family shoot. Sorry guys, I have a little cold, so I have my tea here. But so we've never done a fall family shoot. So I reached out to my friend McKenna Saylor, who is a wedding photographer based in New York, but she travels. But I really wanted a photo shoot in New York, and we really wanted to get there before it's too cold. And I just thought it would be beautiful to have a fall photo shoot in Central Park. So I reached out to her, and I'm like, McKenna, I know that you mainly do wedding photography, but I would absolutely love for you to do our family photos in Central Park. And she's like, oh, great. So I had already had a meeting planned in New York for work, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about that later, because I know a lot of you guys know me as a stay-at-home mom, so we'll get into that later. But I had a meeting for work, and so I was like, it'll be a great time to just schedule it this weekend. The leaves have all changed, and I just think it'll be great. So I get there for my meeting, and it is raining, and we were supposed to have the pictures the next day. So I'm like, okay, if it's raining, like, this isn't gonna work out. So I called McKenna, I actually FaceTimed her, and I'm like, I don't know what to do because it's raining. And she was like, we can just do it, the next day. And I'm like, we were planning on leaving early in the morning the next day, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. So, I talked to Lucas, and he's like, it's fine. Like, we can either reschedule it for another weekend, or, we can just kind of see how the weather changes. Long story short, we ended up doing it 2 days later than we originally planned, and it was at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we enjoyed a great weekend in New York. Just, going to our favorite places to eat and hanging out in Bryant Park. And we, went to bed early because we knew that we had a photo shoot at 7 a.m. So we go to take our photos. And it is like cold, guys. Like, and I don't really do well with the cold as much as I love New York, and I know we're gonna go back and I want to live there for a long time. I can't say forever, but I think I want to live there for a long time, but I just do not like the cold. So I'm like freezing, and on top of me freezing, there are like dogs just running everywhere in the park. And one thing that you'll know quickly about me is that I am terrified of dogs. Like, it is a true phobia of mine. So I was just a bit uncomfortable, just dogs all over the place. But people did really good about just kind of keeping them away. So I was like, okay, Jasmine, just focus. So we're in the park, it's cold, dogs everywhere, but I finally just get wrapped up into the photo shoot that is going really, really well. So throughout the shoot, McKenna, our photographer, she would tell Lucas, which is my fiance, she would tell me to turn around, and she would tell him to either like kiss my cheek or my forehead. So we did that like several times. And there was one time where she told me to turn around so that he could come up and like kiss my cheek. And so I turned around, and I'm just kind of standing there, and like every other time she said it, he was like right there. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel him. And I like, you'll see the pictures here, but I'm kind of like rolling my eyes because it's like, I'm cold, I kind of have attitude, there's dogs everywhere, like, why am I just standing here, So then McKenna goes, never mind, she's like, that doesn't look right, just turn back around. So I turn around, and when I turned around, he was just on one knee. And that was just like seriously the best moment of my life. Like, I was in total shock. I ran away from him. Like, I don't even know why I did that. He said I caught the Holy Ghost. So I'm like jumping, lightly jumping, but just kind of like running and just like shocked. Like, I really didn't know what to do. And Alexander's like playing in the grass and kind of like, doing stuff on his stroller. So I think I'm just like looking at the baby and looking at Lucas, and just like, it was just all surreal. And then like looking at McKenna, who's like, photographing it all, and then she and I went to high school together, and it just all felt so like full circle, so it was a very, very overwhelming feeling. All I remember is just him being on one knee and him just saying, baby, will you marry me? And I don't remember saying yes, but I finally just like went up to him for him to put my ring on. And I just remember, crying, but I was like in so much shock that I wasn't like boo-hooing. It was just like, oh my goodness, like, this is really happening. And so, he puts my ring on, and he stands up, and we're just like hugging each other, and there's like, a guy that's like walking his dog, and he's like clapping for us, and it was just a very magical and surreal moment. Like, I have the chills right now just telling you guys about it. So yeah, so that was that. That's how he asked. And it meant so much just because we're like in Central Park, and that's like one of our favorite places in the world. Like, we love it so much. And you know, he honored my wish of making sure that our baby was present, and that meant so much to me. And him like having a photographer is just like a plus. So I didn't mention that, but the entire time I didn't even know, but he and McKenna were already in conversation about planning this surprise proposal shoot. So she knew all along, and I had no idea. So yeah, you know, we had to get ourselves together after he proposed, and we still needed to finish our shoot because we were only halfway through. So we finished the part where we were going to just shoot in the park with the New York skyline and all that, but we really wanted some in Columbus Circle with the yellow cabs. So we went to the yellow cabs, and as we're walking there, I FaceTime my grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents and my mother. My mother had me when she was 18, I think, 17 or 18. So my grandparents played her parents, they're like my world. They played like a huge part in helping raise me. And so one of the first things I said to Lucas was like, "You called my papa, right?" And he was like, "Yes, he knows." I mean, that was huge. I was just happy that he thought to ask for my grandpa's blessing. So I called my grandparents, and this is like, by this time it's like 8 a.m. On a Sunday morning, so they're getting ready for church. And when I called, they just have I FaceTime them, and they had the biggest smiles on their faces, almost like they just hadn't slept all night, and they've just been thinking about this proposal and waiting for me to call them. So I call them, they're just so happy, and they're like, you know, it's just like praising God and just all types of happy that we're engaged, and they're just talking about the wedding. And then I FaceTime my mom and my sister, and they were really, really happy. They also knew, so they were just beaming with pride. And it was just great. So I get off the phone with them, and just talking to them, I think I was able to calm down a little bit from the shock, although I was still shocked, but I was a bit more calm. But just talking to them made me even more emotional. So I'm like trying to get myself together so we can finish the photo shoot. And I'm not sure what happened. Like, I just, in a moment, I just started thinking just like about our relationship and stuff. And so I just broke down like crying. And I think that's kind of when it hit me. I was just like, oh my goodness, like we're really engaged, and just thinking about all the things we've been through and how much we've like fought for our love, and just for our relationship, and just how happy we are to be together even after all the hardships we've gone through. Like that really, really hit me out of nowhere. I think like I guess I thought I would have cried more like as soon as he proposed, but so I started crying, and I was just like, okay, Jasmine, just get yourself together again so that you can finish the photo. So Lucas like hugged me, and we finished the shoot. And after the shoot, I was really excited to get in the car and FaceTime some of my best friends. And so I did that. And I think when I was FaceTiming like maybe my second or third friend, Lucas like mentioned something about my ring. I don't remember what it was. And then I said something to him. I was like, you know, did you engrave? I think I asked him if he engraved it. I'm not really sure how it happened, but he ended up telling me that to look inside of my ring. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like you engraved something. And so I looked, and my band is very small. So I could barely see what it said, but and it's also in another language, but he engraved "Love Conquers All" in Latin. And when he told me what it said, I had to get off FaceTime because I just broke down crying again, you know, just because it's so, I know it's a very cliche saying that people hear a lot, but it is very, very true for our situation. Like, our love conquered everything we've been through. You know, from, you know, I'm not sure how many of you guys know, but our son was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder called Angelman syndrome just a month after his second birthday, which has been the hardest thing I've ever gone through, my fiance has ever gone through, or probably our families have ever gone through. Just a very, very hard situation. And just, you know, other things, like we've always loved each other, we've always wanted each other, but just life happenings at times have happened to us in some very, very hard to handle ways. And we made it through, and that's what really got to me, and that's why, you know, Love Conquers All being engraved in my ring just meant so much to me. So yeah, so that's how he proposed. We got in our car and headed back to Philadelphia. And that was that. And now we're just in the midst of wedding planning. We're not sure where we're getting married. We know that we're doing a destination wedding. So yeah, we're just trying to get it all together. We really want to enjoy being engaged, and not just like being engaged and not do anything, but just all the fun activities that we have to look for, you know, bridal showers, wedding parties, engagement parties, bachelorette, bachelor, all of that stuff. We really just want to kind of take our time and enjoy it. I couldn't think of a more perfect time for us as a couple. We met when I was 19 and he was 21. We're now 27 and 29. And I just feel like we're ready, not just as a couple, because we've always loved each other. And that's not anything that we've ever questioned, but just as individuals, we are totally different people now than we were when we first met, you know, and we've grown. We've just grown to want different things out of life than we thought we did at that point when we were much younger. And sometimes, you know, we've been together 8 years, and there were times where we didn't want the same things. You know, it was like we were growing apart and going on two different paths as far as what we wanted out of life. And the thing that I love so much about our relationship is that even when we grew apart, we did it together. And I think it's because we've always been best friends. So even when we weren't agreeing on things or on the same page, we were just friends, and we just held each other's hand through it all. And it just somehow worked out where we ended up just getting on the same path again and wanting the same or very similar things. And even if there were things that one wanted, then the other wanted something different, like we were just able to just come to a common ground at a place that makes both of us feel comfortable, and the both of us feel like we're getting what we want out of life. And we're very happy. We're so in love. And this is beautiful. You know, I'm so happy, like I said, that he honored my wish and had our son there. And we're just at a place where, you know, we're just ready for, you know, marriage and paying for a wedding, because when we were younger, we definitely weren't ready for, you know, to pay for a wedding and a ring. All that, you know, is costly. And so now we're at a place where we're able to save, and we're, I guess, adults now, although we're still young. But yeah, so that's our story. And thank you so much for listening today. If you have any requests as far as videos that you would like for me to film, like topics that you would like for me to talk about, just let me know. I definitely have a long list of things I want to bring to you guys, but this is my first one. So thank you so much for stopping here. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on Instagram and say hi. And seriously, comment, guys, and just anything you want to know. Any questions you have, just ask me and I'll answer. Thank you. Bye. And I made a vow, so I tell you no.